New King James Version titles it An Exuberant Declaration of Faith. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? I want to pause right there for station identification. And I want to title this particular series, Same God. Same God. 2020 by far has been one of the most uncomfortable, uncanny, and consistent, far fetched, frustrating years of my life, of our lives, if you want to go that step, because we cannot put our hand, we cannot grasp what exactly this year has been or is going to be. 2020 was supposed to be the year of clear vision, of clear miracles, of clear whatever you thought. It was just supposed to be clear. That's the assumption of coming into 2020, what it's supposed to be. And that has been the exact opposite. But what I do know, and I'm confident that that will remain, is that God is still in control, and God still has you and me in the palm of his hands. And he'll never leave us, he'll never forsake us. But this is what we have to do: make him the light and our salvation. And so when we make God our light and our salvation, we have no fear what man, what woman, what boy, what girl, whatever may come against us, what they can do to us. We have no fear of what the day may bring, because we know and that we understand that we are in the master's hand. And the best place to be is in the hands of the master. And so the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Here it is, verse 2. When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and my foes, they stumble and fail. Though an army may encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war may rise up against me, in this will I be confident. One thing I have desired of the Lord that I will seek is that I will dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. Let's go back to verse 2. For when the wicked came against me to eat my flesh, my enemies and my foes, they stumbled and they fell. The 23rd division of Psalm says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. You're my rod and you're my staff, and you comfort me. There will be some high mountains. There will be some high hills. There will be some low valleys. We will have some low valley points in our life. And for some of us, 2020 has been a year of low valleys. For some of us, 2020 has been a year of high mountains. 2020 has been for some of us a year of a desert. We've been in a wilderness experience. But for some of us as well, 2020 has been a year of miracles after miracles after miracles after miracles after signs and wonders and miracles. And for those who may be in a desert place, those who may be in a valley place, those who may have had that desert or valley experience, God has still sustained you thus far, that you are indeed still here. And so, yea, though I walk through the valley, I still know that he's with me. So we're moving on, coming on the mountain when I come. So my enemies and my foes, they stumble and they fail. Why did they stumble? Why did they fall? They stumble, they fail because I knew and I know and I'm comfortable and I'm solid. I have solace in the fact, because I'm in the master's hand, that they can try to attack me, but his rod and his staff, they comfort me. I know that they can try to attack me, they could try to take me out of character, and they could try to frustrate me, and they could try to strip everything away from me, but I'm going to eat anyway. Why? Because he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And so my heart will not fear, because the war it may rise up against me, but in this will I be confident. Even in 2020 being an uncomfortable season, I yet will remain confident that I will see the goodness of the Lord. Because why? Because I have desired. I have desired it. And whatever you desire, whatever you ask for, if you're in his will, if you're in the master's hand, he will give it to you. Many people make promises. Many people break promises, but God is, El Shaddai is, Jehovah Jireh is, he's our provider. He is the ultimate promise keeper. And he who promises shall remain faithful. He who promised will remain faithful. He who promised is faithful. He's faithful. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. He'll always look out for you. He'll always hold you in the palm of his hand. He'll always do what's good, what's his good, pleasing, and perfect will. He'll never walk out on you. Many people will make promises. Many people will break promises. But God is the ultimate promise keeper. If you stay connected to him. So though war may rise up against me, in this will I be confident. One thing I desire of the Lord that I will seek after is that I will dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. David said, you will prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemy, and you will anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. 'Tis so sweet. The text and the symbolic, the similarities in the two pieces of text, that I will dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, and goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, that I will dwell in the house of the Lord. But we have to be connected. The worst place to be is outside the will of God. The best place to be is in the hands of the master. And as long as I'm in the hands of the master, everything will be all right. Let me pause and put a disclaimer out there. The best place to be is in the hands of the master, but don't get it twisted. Being in the hands of the master ain't all comfortable. Being in the hands of the master ain't all easy, because God did not create us to live this easy life. He created us, he designed us to follow his good, pleasing, and perfect will. But if we follow and we abide and we walk the straight path that he set before us in his good, pleasing, and perfect will, that temptation may come, temptation may arise. People may encamp themselves around us, round about. But we know and we have solace in the fact that if we follow after him, everything will be all right. So no, everything won't be a tiptoe through the tulips. Everything won't be a dancing dance with the daisy. Everything won't be good like fried chicken, candy yams, and macaroni and cheese. But we know, because we trust in him, that as long as we're in the master's hand, everything will be all right. The same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the same God of me, is the same God of you, and he will never leave us or forsake us. The same God. Furthermore, understanding the fact that God did not call us, he did not call us to always be in a place of comfortability. He didn't always call us to be in a place of familiarity. He didn't always call us to be in a place of when we can be at peace. But see, the issue is most of us aren't at peace because we're missing. We have the missing piece. Here's your Christmas message right here. We're missing the peace, and the peace is Emmanuel. And he said, and you will be told, he said, you will bear a child, and you are to name him Emmanuel. And what it's in essence mean, and God is with us. And so we're missing peace, and we're missing joy, and we're missing living life, and we're missing happiness, and we're missing all these various elements and things, not because somebody's attacking us, not because somebody's trying to take us out of our character, because we're missing it, because we're missing him. We are not connected to him. We are not constantly in him. We are not constantly walking with him. We're not constantly in communion with him. We're not constantly, give us this day our daily bread. We're not constantly sitting at the table, eating the bread of life and learning and growing in the ways and the knowledge of God. And so the worst place to be is outside the will of God, and the best place to be is in the will of God. But never get so comfortable that you feel and you believe you're inside the will of God, that you're outside the will of God. Hear me clearly. God did not call us to be in a place of familiarity every step of our life. God did not call us to be in a place of comfortability in every place of our life. And don't get it twisted. Don't get you being comfortable twisted. Because it ain't to a point, to an extent, you ain't comfortable, you complacent. And God didn't call you to be complacent. He called us to be peculiar people. He calls us to be the light on the city of the hill. He calls us to some folks, some conversations we got to have, some things we got to do, some things even if we don't agree with, we don't like it, we got to do it because he calls us to do it. But hear this and know this and have solace in it and sleep well at night, knowing that he will never, if he directs your paths and you follow the path that he directed because you made him your strong tower, you made him your strength, and you made him your secret place, he will always do what is best for you. And the answer is in your exaltation. And the answer, if you make the altar your antidote, everything will be all right. But the Lord is the light of your salvation. Whom shall you fear? The Lord is the strength of your life. And whom shall you be afraid? Though they may attack you, though they may come after you, in this will you be confident. One thing that you desire of the Lord, one thing that I desire of the Lord, that I will seek after, is that I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I don't have to worry about evil befalling me or plagues coming near my dwelling. Why? Because at the top of Psalms 91 it says, he who dwells in the secret place. If I dwell in the secret place and I have a relationship with God and I'm connected to the source, I don't have to worry. I don't have to fret. I don't have to get upset. I don't have to folly. I don't have to slip away because I know and I take solace in the fact and I sleep good at night because I'm not missing the peace, because I have peace, because I'm not missing the peace, because I have peace, and the peace is Emmanuel. Well, walk with me. Walk with me in this journey called life. To behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret place of his tabernacle, he shall hide me. He shall set me high upon the rock. Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. And I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge. In him will I put my trust. Surely he will deliver me from the snare of the fallen, and the sleep and the noisy pestilence. Surely he will deliver me. Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in the green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod, your staff, they comfort me. Here it is. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. He will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And no matter what, you still gonna eat. But you have to make God your daily bread. You have to make God your daily bread. You have to make God your daily bread. And we have to make God our secret place. And he will set us high on the rock. Why? Because he said, you will be a city on a hill that shines forever so bright. They will see you, but they won't be able to touch you. They'll see you, but they won't be able to kill you. Why? Because he's your shield, he's your buckler, he's your rod, he's your staff, and he's your strength. And he is your secret place. He who dwells. The same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The same God. The same God that gave David the power to take a slingshot and to kill Goliath. The same God. The same God that delivered Daniel from the lion's den. The same God. The same God that saves Jonah from dying in the well. Even after he went out of the will of God. Even after he did the polar opposite of what God told him to do. He told him to go to Nineveh. The same God still delivers, still heals, still sets free, still makes a way. But you have to be connected and you have to stay connected, and you never can be so comfortable in the will that you're out of the will and you don't even know it. Because it can look good on the inside, on the outside, but on the inside, it really hurts. On the inside, you really got this deep and dark void. On the inside, you really got a lot of insecurities. On the inside, you really don't know the right from the left from the right. It just looked good on the outside. And so on the outside, everything looks copacetic. Everything seems copacetic. Everybody says, oh, you're doing good. You're looking good. You're doing this. You're doing that. But on the reality of it is, you are hurt, you're broken, and you ain't got no peace. Because you haven't made God your priority. You haven't made your relationship with God your priority. You haven't made God your secret place. You haven't made God your strength. You haven't made God your buckler. You only run to God when you need God, but you ain't consistent in your relationship with Him, the same God. And now my head shall be lifted above my enemies. Therefore, I will offer sacrifices of joy in this tabernacle. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me and answer me. When you said, seek my face, my heart said to you, your face, Lord, will I seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn away your servant in anger. You have been my help. Do not leave me nor forsake me, O God of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in the smooth paths because of my enemies. Do not deliver me to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, such as they breathe out violence. Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3 simply says this. Here it is from verse 6 to verse 12. I can summarize what Proverbs chapter 3. If we abide solemnly in the book of Proverbs, and we use the wisdom and the knowledge and the teaching of Jesus of the book of Proverbs and Christ, and we use the rules and the guidelines that God has set before us in the teachings and the knowledge. Proverbs chapter 3, here it is. My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commands. For length of days and years will I add, and peace will they add to you. Let not steadfast love and faithfulness forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart, so you will find God will find favor and good success in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your path. So it is verse 7. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your flesh and a refreshment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth and with your first fruits and all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline or be weary of His reproof, for the Lord reproves whom He loves, as a father the one whom He delights, a son in whom He delights. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. Here it is, back to Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He lead me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He lead me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley, He leads me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. And yea, though I walk through the valley, there will be some valley times. 2020 for some of us has been some valley times, but I will fear no evil. Why? Because I follow in His righteousness. I follow because goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. And so the path that I'm going to keep on walking, I'm going to walk it straight away, because I know eventually that I'm going to be so far ahead that my enemies, they can't attack me. They can't catch up with me, and I'm going to be set up high upon a rock, and they can see me, but they can't hurt me. They can see me, but they can't kill me, because He's a protection over me. Psalms chapter 1. Psalms division 1, I'm sorry. The first division simply reads, blessed is the man who walks in the counsel of the not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of the sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in it does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the streams of water, that bear fruit in its season, and his leaf does not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. For the ungodly are not so, but like a chaff which the wind drives away. And so and therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Why does the Lord know the way of the righteous? Because He directs the way of the righteous. And if we follow His rules, if we follow His guidelines, if we stay in the master's hands, if we stay in the potter's hand, if we keep the potter's touch, He will direct our ways, and the way of the ungodly shall perish. Because here it is again, we'll be so far up. We're the city, we're on the hill that shines so bright that we're so far up, and they can see us, but they can't attack us, because He's a shield and a buckler around us. Though they slay me, yet will I trust. And so we will write them on the tablets of our hearts, to trust in the Lord with all our hearts and lean not to our own understanding, to acknowledge Him in all our ways, and He will direct our paths. He is the bread of life. Baby, we gonna eat. They can try to come after us, but we gonna eat. And not only are we gonna eat, and not only are we gonna live at peace, I'm gonna sleep, and I'm gonna sleep good. Every night, I'm gonna sleep good. I'm gonna have an overwhelming sense of peace. I'm not gonna let what's going on bother me or take me out of my character because I know that I'm in the master's hands. And here it is, and I close. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. I gotta go here. Psalms 91. I gotta go here. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. For you will deliver me from the snare of the fowler, from the deadly pestilence, and you will he will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. You will not fear of the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your right hand, 10,000 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked, because of you have made the Lord your dwelling place. The Most High is my refuge. And here it is in verse 10. No evil shall befall thee, no plague will come near thy dwelling, for he will give his angels charge over you to guard you in all your ways. Let's go back to verse 9. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place. The Lord is the light of my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the light of my salvation. Whom shall I fear? He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. For the time of trouble, he will hide you in his pavilion. In the secret place of his tabernacle, he shall hide me. No plague shall come near thy, no evil shall befall thee, no plague shall come near thy tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. Back to verse 9, because you have made the Lord your dwelling place. If you make God your dwelling place, no evil will befall you, no plague come near your dwelling, but you have to make the altar your antidote, and the answer is in your exaltation. You have to stay connected to the Master. You have to make the altar your antidote. The answer is in your exaltation, and you have to stay connected to the Master. I would have lost heart unless I believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen my heart. My grandmother Maurice may live for 87 years. 87 years, and even in the 87th year of her life, she was living like she was 27. She was living her life like it was golden. But why? How could she do that? How could she be so old, but live her life as if she was so young? Because she didn't lose heart. And she believed that she would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. She knew and here it is. It is possible. God created us. He designed us to do his good, pleasing, and perfect will. And you can, if you stay in his hand, live in peace on earth, reap the benefits on earth, and then die and gain an even greater reward. And so my grandmother, she lived in peace on earth, gained and reaped the benefits on earth, and then died peacefully and went and got her greater reward. But why? Because she never lost faith. She never lost hope. She always believed. She always pressed through. She always pressed through. Thank you, Robert and Edwina Majors. Thank you, Freddie and Allie Miller. Thank you, Marie C. May. Thank you, Freddie Turner Johnson. Thank you, Larry Lee Johnson. Thank you, Charles Turner. Thank you, Rudolph Anthony May. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you for always believing that even in the midst of uncertainty, that God would always provide, that God would always protect, that God would always heal, that God would always deliver. thank you, Maurice May, for teaching us that if we believe, we'll see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. The same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the same God of you and me. Stay connected to the source. Stay in the Master's hand.